Welcome, everyone. It is Tuesday, May 24th. Welcome. This is the Dougherty Show. Yeah, it's been a wonderful week, guys. It's been a little cold, though, these last few days. I'm not a fan of it. We have a lot to talk about today, but not too much. This actually might be a pretty short show today. I got some banger topics, though. But before we get started, be sure to subscribe below. We only need 895 more subscribers to get to 1,000. No big deal. We'll get there eventually. We got our quest to 100. We finally hit that about a week ago, and now we're on our way to 1,000. So keep subscribing, people. We appreciate it. Be sure to hit that like button below. We do like that as well. Show that love. Also, make sure you guys go subscribe to Mark Novakovic's channel. He's one of our sponsors. He's the one that we do different skits with. I did the Jimmy and Chad podcast. Absolutely hilarious on there. You can go check out that video if you want to like it, or if you want to subscribe to his channel, go check him out. He's on Mark Novakovic at youtube.com. Just type that in. And then also don't forget about Spinny Black, y'all. SpinnyBlack.com. It's got loads of great videos on there for music. He's got a wonderful album called The Art of Procrastination. You can check that out. He's also on Apple Music and Spotify, an exceptionally great artist. Make sure you guys check him out. Also, without further ado, let's introduce the one, the only, Danaconda at night and Brother Dan by day. How you doing, Brother Dan?
I'm doing well today, my friend. How are you?
Oh, just living, bro. Just got done watching this show called Pieces of Her. It's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, check that out. I just got done finishing The Northman. Not a good movie. Very bad. So.
Oh yeah, you were saying that you didn't like that. What's all bad about it again?
Wasn't a lot of action. If you don't know a lot about Norse mythology, stuff like that, it's gonna get really confusing. It's gonna it shows a lot about that gods and a lot of metaphors and stuff. So it's really trippy.
Gotcha. I'm about to check this. That's in movie theaters, right? Or is that on
You can rent it on Amazon Prime.
Okay, I'll check it out on Amazon Prime. I got Amazon Prime, so.
Yeah, it's like $20 to rent, but at least it's better than going to the movie theaters and waste your time in a theater and all that other stuff, getting popcorn and spending like $50-$60, and then you watch it and then it's terrible. So.
Yeah, don't want that. Also, we're going to be talking about Doctor Strange a little bit later today, people. For those of you that want to know about Doctor Strange, we won't talk about it on this show, but that next show, we'll have some spoilers on there. So make sure that you guys check that out. But we have a couple things we're going to talk about today. We'll talk about some free agent signings first, and then we're going to talk about the NFL discussing new ways to improve the Pro Bowl, and then some other topics that we got going on. With the very first topic, we have James Bradberry. He's setting a one-year deal worth $10 million with the Eagles. The reason I like this is because the Eagles seem to be getting better and better every single time I see a new signing about them. This team, I mean, like, it started with the AJ Brown in the draft. Then after that draft, they signed some other couple players. It seems like their defense is getting better and better. And their wide receiver group's doing better. They're doing everything that they can to try and improve this team and make a push. And honestly, I just saw them in a rankings the other day for NFL power rankings. I don't know if it was NFL.com or ESPN. Might have been another one, but I think they were ranked 9th. But what is your thoughts on that, Danny, about the James Bradberry signing, with the Eagles? I know that they're improving that defense.
First, I apologize about that. I had technical difficulties, and I like that. Shows up the Eagles' backfield. Besides the receiving core being a struggle, secondary's been so.
Yeah, and then I think they have Darius Slay on the other other side, if I'm not mistaken. Having Darius Slay and then James Bradberry on the same team, help out that backfield back there so everyone can rush the passer a little bit better, give them a little bit more time, to get to that quarterback. I feel like it's going to be really, really well for him. Plus, you have Jalen Hurts. He's going to be running around all the time. So, I feel like they might be one of the least sacked teams this year. I know that he's usually running for his life, but I think they improved a lot of positions that are going to definitely help him out this year. So I think the Eagles are in my opinion, like a sleeper team to look out for,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think sign. And you know what? He was with the Giants, so the Giants and the Eagles. It gives the Eagles a lot of benefits on what they do personnel wise on the other side over there. So smart.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, some other signings that are going on. Dolphins signed Melvin Ingram. He was formerly with the Chiefs. And now he's over there to help out that Dolphins defense. And like I said, this is another team that seems to just keep getting better and better every week. You know, I feel like there's a new signing every week, and it's a new player that's adding to the element of that team and what it's going to do this year. I mean, the Dolphins look so great on paper, just whether they're actually going to pull through and actually do it this time. But what are your thoughts on Melvin Ingram signing?
I like that. He's a good linebacker. It's surprisingly he's bouncing from team to team the last couple of years. But he has the potential to be a great bounce team to team. It's not always the best look for a player, but I can also the team going a lot of different changes. But I like he could rush the passer, and he's got a motor that just keeps the charge. Flashes with the Chiefs last year to make the Dolphins. They're already pretty.
You're breaking up a little bit, buddy. It's like every time I hear, it's like up.
Yeah, now.
I heard you for the most part. You're pretty much saying that Melvin Ingram is a solid linebacker, provides depth for that team essentially. He's got a good motor, and he's been a journeyman. He's kind of like Ryan Fitzpatrick. I mean, he kind of excels in each team that he's on. He's not like a super great linebacker, but he's not a terrible linebacker either. He's just someone who's super productive, and he's always pushing it. One guy I know that you'll like, but he's not with your Bears anymore. But Kyle Fuller, he signed with the Ravens, man. What are your thoughts on that?
Ravens secondary is going to be sick. They always have a top 5 defense, I feel like. Maybe not every year, but I feel like more often than not, they're like top 5 or top 10 for sure. I think their secondary is going to be really nasty this year. A lot of players coming off of injuries, coming back. So I think it's going to be hard to pass on them. I think their defense is going to be monstrous. I like the signing. He's not a bad corner. He's on the north side of 30, though, so he's getting older. So it's a good depth sign for them.
I agree, man. That Ravens team just keeps getting better and better. Another team, like 3 teams in a row that just seem to keep getting better and better. And it's only a 1-year deal, so you can actually prove himself. And that's also something that I also liked about James Bradberry. Him signing a 1-year deal with the Eagles, gives him the opportunity to, if he balls out this year, he can go sign with someone else with a fat contract extension, and it gives him a chance to actually prove himself because last year he had a down year. But Kyle Fuller, he's getting pretty old now. Still productive though, and it's definitely going to help out that defense. He's a good veteran presence, for those new cornerbacks that they have on their team now. He can, help them grow and get a little bit better themselves. And that team's it's gonna be pretty good. The Ravens seem to be doing pretty good every single year ever since they had Lamar Jackson on the team. But it's just like certain pieces they were missing, man. But it just seems like their defense is consistent, and they always have at least a top 10 or a top 15 defense. And this just proves it because they just keep signing good quality veterans and signing really good players through the draft. I mean, they had Patrick, what's his name last year, didn't they?
Patrick Sustained, I believe, right?
Who did you say it was?
Patrick Sustained the third, right?
Yep. And he's on that team, killing it, man. Like, yeah, they're doing well. Speaking of another signing that we got going on, Clowney. He's back in Cleveland. And I know you were seeing some reading on this earlier. I know Clowney turned down a couple multi-year deals with other teams just so he could be back with the Cleveland Browns. What are your thoughts on this?
They got a great defense. But I also was reading that the contract's very complicated for the Browns. Maybe there's a lot of incentives in there, too. If he does well, he'll get paid for more than what he already got paid with these other contracts, from my understanding. So maybe there's a lot of money and incentives there. You're on a great defense. You can probably hit those with good players around you, great players around you. They're not bad. They got a good defense. Ward, Garrett. It's good.
Yeah. I mean, I like the signing for Cleveland, not for Clowney himself. I think the reason why he signed back with Cleveland is because Deshaun Watson's there. I feel like his aurora around the team is it's like when Tom Brady went to Tampa Bay. Everybody wanted to go over to Tampa Bay because they wanted to play with Tom Brady and they wanted to build a championship team. So I feel like that's what's kind of happening with Cleveland in a way, just not as severe as what it was with Brady. But Clowney coming back to Cleveland, he's like, oh shit, Deshaun Watson's over there now. They're gonna be balling out. He's like, fuck, I got to be a part of this.
Building his own massage parlors too.
I'm sure he is. But Clowney's also gonna, not that Myles Garrett needs it, but relieve some pressure on him so he's not getting double or triple teamed all the time. Because Clowney is an exceptional player who can get off the ball. But I think something that he really excels in is not really actually rushing the passer. I think he's okay at that. I think he does a lot better in the run game. So I feel like that's going to help them tremendously in the run game this year. And no one's going to be able to run the ball as much on them when he's playing and Myles Garrett's playing. But as far as turning down multiple deals with other teams, I don't know about that. I think he signed a 1-year deal with Cleveland. I'm not quite sure. Like maybe does he really think that the Browns are going to win the Super Bowl this year? Because I don't think anybody else is thinking that. But I don't know.
Watson's a better quarterback than Baker Mayfield by far.
Yeah, true, but there's a lot of uncertainty around that situation at the moment. I feel like that's the reason why Baker is still on the team and they haven't traded him is because Deshaun Watson might get suspended. They're still investigating everything and going through all the legalities of that stuff, and still has 22 pending lawsuits against him. So I don't know, man. I don't know if it was a great signing for Clowney, like I said, but it is for Cleveland. That's for sure. Especially if it's just 1 year and you can release him right after, or not release him, but just let him go and walk in free agency after that. But I don't know. And you said there were some complications or there are certain things in Clowney's contract. I'm also thinking it could be the fact that it might be fully guaranteed. Not 100% on that, but I know that there's a lot of fully guaranteed things happening these days. I'm going to pull this up real quick. Let's see. I think I sent it to you. Oh, actually, no. I have it on here. Boom. One place where the players are making headway, and the reason I'm saying these players is because the NFL Players Association, the union that they've created and whatnot, are pushing for more fully guaranteed contracts. And they've been trying to do this for years. I mean, I don't know if anyone really knows, but I think it was Kirk Cousins. Yeah. Kirk Cousins was actually the first, maybe not even the first, but one of the, I know in the last recent years, he's the first fully guaranteed contract, and no one really said anything about it. He signed 2 1-year franchise tags, and then he's on, the Vikings with a fat ass deal. But no one really said anything. And I think a lot of people thought that after, Kirk Cousins did it, that other players would follow, but they didn't. So now the Players Association is pushing for more fully guaranteed contracts, and I think Deshaun Watson's the head runner of that. So he got his entire contract guaranteed, which I feel like a lot of quarterbacks don't really have to worry about anyways, because if that's one of the positions that most quarterbacks are that when they're getting ready to do their contract negotiations, they don't really get cut from the team like that, because they're so good and they actually have a lot of leverage. So they're okay with signing these massive deals because they're probably not going to get cut and they're probably going to get all that money. But for other players, it's not actually the same way. I mean, the quarterback difference is probably the most important position on the team, but not for other players. But one place where the players are making headway is the draft. Apparently 26 of the 32 first-round picks for the 2022 class have signed their contracts, and all 26 of them are fully guaranteed 4-year deals. And that includes the picks number 30, 31, and 32, which is a significant number for a number of reasons. Last year, only 28 picks got their 4th years fully guaranteed. The year before, only the first 26 did. The fact that Minnesota's Lewis Klein, the number 32 pick last month, got a full 4-year guarantee means that this will be the first year in which the whole first round got fully guarantees. So what are your thoughts on this? Do you think that this is becoming a norm? This is because the MLB right now and NBA, they have fully guaranteed contracts. And I can understand how NFL owners don't want that to happen, obviously, because you don't want to have to pay someone guaranteed money, and what happens? They might get injured. They're not as productive. If you don't have to do it, why do it? So I get their side of it. But at the other side, like these players, man, like they don't have much else left going on in their life. And some of these guys come from nothing. So the fact that they're getting fully guaranteed contracts means a lot to them. But what are your thoughts on all this?
I get it both ways, but I mean, even contracts that are not guaranteed now, that's still a lot of money. Don't be buying $500,000 cars and shit. You know what I mean? We're being stupid. But I don't know. It's good for some players. Some, I don't think it'd be good. I think certain positions. I don't think it should be for every position. But it's just that's complicated. I don't like it.
You don't like it?
No, I don't, because I get it for like injuries and stuff like that, but it's becoming more like you kind of handicap the team if you do a more fully guaranteed contract, where it can handicap the cap space and all that too. Like let's say you do a 10-year contract like Mahomes did. How's that cap space going to look in that 10-year span? You're going to take talent away from the team?
In my opinion, I don't think so. And this is the reason why I say it. So I don't know if I forgot if Major League Baseball does this. I know the NBA has what's called a luxury tax. So there's a lot of NBA teams right now that are already over the salary cap. And what they do is they have what's called a luxury tax that they have to pay for each dollar amount. Like there's like a certain dollar amount, I guess, that you go over that salary cap. You have to start paying money on that. It's like a tax, essentially, and that goes towards the NFL, I'm assuming, or not the NFL, the NBA, I'm assuming. So it could be the same thing in the NFL. If they start having fully guaranteed contracts, the NFL can make a rule to where there's a luxury tax that if you exceed that salary cap, you have to pay a luxury tax for it. So it'll prevent some teams, from wanting to go over that salary cap. But a lot of teams already do anyways. When they do, you have a loaded team, And right now, you got to think about the Rams, for example, too. The Rams have signed so many players. It's like they give away all their draft picks. I don't think they had a first-round draft pick the last couple years. Like, they don't give a fuck. They're just like, you know what? We're just going to sign the players that we think are the best, and we're going to try and run it out and try to win the Super Bowl. So I don't think that'll affect the way that someone constructs a team. I feel like as long as you're really smart and good with your numbers, and you have a good guy who knows how to do accounting essentially, that you can get essentially great players into your building and make a run. But go ahead with what you were saying.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't think every player deserves a fully guaranteed contract. Yeah, because let's say it's like an Aaron Rodgers, a Tom Brady, a Patrick Mahomes. I'm like, yeah, sure, give them. Why are we giving Deshaun Watson one? Why are we giving Kirk Cousins one? What have they done?
And that's a big argument too, yeah.
I don't know. It's just like it's just hard with certain players. Like if you start like mid-tier players, all guaranteed contracts. It's difficult. A couple more things have to go in line before I personally say it'd be all right. I don't know. It handicaps the team, I think, though.
So you're saying that, like, depending on the stature of the player, is whether you think that they deserve that fully guaranteed contract. Like they would have to be not essentially an elite form, but someone who is always productive and consistent, I guess you could say.
I would say so, yeah.
Okay. I can see your point on that, yeah. Me myself, I just feel like
and I mean certain tiers, like let's say a rotational player that comes in and performs really high. You have certain tiers of contracts.
Okay. I could see I could see that. I know that the NFL made around $15 billion, I think, this year. So I know they have the money for it. So in my opinion, if you're making $15 billion, why not? Why wouldn't you be able to play these players? Like, I know that they have what's called a pool for fully guaranteed contracts that are out there. And they made this rule, I think, back – if I had to guess, it was when they were having troubles and issues in the NFL where they were actually scared that they might not be able to pay their players. Obviously, they don't have that issue anymore because they were a multi-billion-dollar industry, and they signed all these contracts with Amazon, ESPN, all these TV contracts. So they don't have to worry about that much no more. But they have this pool of money for these fully guaranteed contracts. So when these players get signed, they're for sure going to get paid because they have that pool of money right there for them. I feel like they could just do the same thing for fully guaranteed contracts if it's going to be a norm for everybody. Just have a money off to the side that is for everybody. Also, I know that this year, when they were doing their player negotiation things, or it might have been like 2020. I think it was 2020. Whenever they're doing the CBA thing, and then trying to come up to a collective bargaining agreement. For those of you that don't know what a CBA is, they changed like the dollar amount. I think before for fully guaranteed contracts, they have to pay like a certain amount. Like they take the player's amount, whatever that player is guaranteed, they take that and they put it into a pool. And then they also have to pay money on top of that pool. And it was like maybe $2 million at first. Now it's $15 million. So I feel like they're increasing it, but I feel like they also need to, not that they need to pay every single player. Maybe like, I don't know. I feel like you would have a lot more stability in the league with a lot of things. Contracts, in my opinion, I feel like negotiations might be a little bit easier if everything's fully guaranteed. Right now, it's going to be tough for them because they don't want to have them fully guaranteed. You can always have clauses in there, like if a player is getting injured every single year, maybe you don't have to pay them as much, pay them half or something. I don't know. It's something that player agrees to. So like, hey, if this person gets injured, you take care of their medical bills, obviously, but instead of them getting, the $20 million that they were guaranteed that year, they're not playing anymore. Now, how about you give them $10 million, half the amount of money, just some, and there's always a negotiation, something that they can do. I feel like every player, kind of deserves that money in a way because they've gotten to that level. This is the NFL. And to be honest with you, there's only 32 teams out there. There's only 53 players in each team. I mean, if you add all that up, that's only a couple hundred players. So that's, in realistic terms, that's not a lot of money that you're actually, forking over, as opposed to like other leagues that have a shit ton of players on the team. There's only 11 starters on each side.
I agree with that. Some clauses that make it better.
But yeah, that's my take on it. But yeah, I think that there should be fully guaranteed contracts, and it should be the norm, just like MLB and NBA. I don't know if the NHL does that, but yeah. Moving on, though, the NFL is discussing new ways to improve the Pro Bowl. How can they improve it, Danny?
How can they improve it? By getting rid of it. I hate the Pro Bowl.
It's really boring all the time.
Yeah.
I feel like they need to do like bonuses and skill challenges. Maybe not have an actual game, because obviously a lot of players skip that and they want to go join this. If they're going on the Super Bowl, usually everyone skips the Pro Bowl because they don't want to get injured right before the Super Bowl. I feel like you might have less people skip the Pro Bowl if there's not a game and there's like challenges on maybe who's the best quarterback or who's the best wide receiver. You said what?
You still get hurt on a challenge.
Yeah, but what are the odds?
Like, what if I throw a football and boom, something blows on my arm? I don't know.
I mean, it's definitely a possibility. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, you're less likely to get injured than you were if you were having an actual football game and getting tackled on a play or tackling a player on a play. I just feel like they should, for each position, they should have something super cool that's really intriguing to watch. That's going to garner attention from players. Like, I don't know, maybe the wide receivers, quarterbacks, they could do like some skills challenge where like they're throwing the ball into like certain targets or something like that. And we can see like who's the most accurate quarterback and they get an award for it and money for it. Okay. And then also that money can be matched and donated to a charity of their choosing or something like that. For wide receivers, I'm not quite sure. Maybe a catching drill or something like that. Like there's so many drills out there. I feel like that they can add to the Pro Bowl that, like who's the fastest. Like there could be a drill like whoever wants to compete. It could be wide receivers and running back. They could just call it a skill players challenge where, you see who the fastest player is that year. Or they can do a skills channel who has the best hands, or I'm trying to think. For kickers, they can do like different targets that they have to hit with kicking and whatnot, whether it's punters or whether it's regular kickers that are kicking field goals, have them kicking field goals from a certain distance or at a certain angle, things like that. It's kind of like when you're playing, around the world with basketball, but it's with kickers and you're kicking into a field goal instead. Trying to think what else. I don't know. I just feel like they could just add to it. Like, I mean, where is the creativity? I feel like they haven't done anything like that. I mean, you got basketball. They do. NBA's got it down, man. Their All-Star game is great. Every single year, I always watch it. I know there's loads of other people that watch it. I mean, MLB has a home run derby. That's amazing to watch all the time. I just feel like they need to come up with something that everyone can at least participate in that gets elected to this. Don't get rid of the Pro Bowl. Essentially, you could still have a bowl, but don't have the game. Have like skill games, something that they can do just to garner attention and keep people's view.
Skill challenge.
Yeah, skill challenges. Should have like for like the big men, like have like I don't know a hot dog eating contest. You can wolf down the most hot dogs or some shit like that, or who can chug the beer the quickest or something. I don't know. Like I know some of that stuff you can't do because kids are watching, but I don't know. Something.
Who can go to the massage parlors the fastest?
Deshaun Watson or Robert Kraft would be in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, like just something creative. I don't know. I'm gonna think about this like over the next couple of weeks on what they can actually do, like something that they can do to do it. If our viewers have any opinions on what they think that the NFL should add, by all means, let us know. We'll mention it on the show. If you know something that you did, maybe not a dodgeball. Wasn't there a dodgeball one that didn't they have that last year or something like that? Dodgeball is fun.
I don't watch the Pro Bowl anymore. It's just boring.
It's because it is. They have to have something in there that's really entertaining to watch. I don't know. I'd watch a dodgeball tournament. I don't know. Those things are fun, but it's like you got to make sure it's fun for everybody. You got to make sure everyone's going to want to do this and want to watch it and stuff like that. And there's really no hype around the Pro Bowl ever either because it's always so damn boring. I remember one time they're going to get rid of it, and then that's when they started playing hard, But it's just like they don't need to be playing hard in a Pro Bowl. They need to be doing something that's going to keep people's attention. Everyone's always getting ready for the Super Bowl. So, and you have tons of people that skip the Pro Bowl because of that reason that are in the Super Bowl because they don't want to get injured. But yeah, and then what about the players that are injured from like I don't know the waist down, but they get elected to a Pro Bowl? What if it's a quarterback? My tore his ACL, but he can still throw. Have him do a throwing challenge where he doesn't have to like move. He can just throw, just hit a target. Something. There's cool things out there like that. Always thinking of one like. You know how to gun range, you got to hit certain targets like boom, 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 boom. Some gun ranges, where things pop up and you shoot it. They could have that for the NFL.
That's entertaining and different.
Yeah, just add so many cool things, man. Like, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, and then also I've heard Pat McAfee before talk about how the way you have to punt a ball a certain way, like. Some of these things that you don't even know about, like that, like it's interesting to hear and watch. I don't know, just something, man. Yeah, the Pro Bowl has its troubles, and I feel like it loses its viewers every year. But I'm sure there's something out there that they can do that's creative. I mean, you're a $1 billion industry, and you can't think of a couple things that make things entertaining every single year.
Pathetic.
Arizona Cardinals are on Hardknocks in season, and I spelled that wrong. Hold on. I still probably spelled that wrong. Oh, well. You guys get it. Arizona is going to be on Hardknocks in season. The Colts were on it last season. It was pretty interesting to watch. You got to actually see each player, players that you're fans of, and see like their personal relationship with like their families and things like that, how they interact with the team, how the team's doing things on a week-to-week basis. Like, so I feel like I'm glad that they're doing the in-season one. I feel like those ones are a little bit more entertaining than the ones that are on the off-season because I don't know, that's OTA. Some of that stuff is kind of boring, and usually it's a team that that freaking sucks every single year. Or not every year, but that year before. It's a team that's going into the season. And like the Cowboys last year, they were garbage the year before. Or the Detroit Lions. or I think the Colts were on it when they were 2-14 or something like that. It's always a really bad team. So the fact that they're going to teams that are actually pretty good and they're doing an in-season one, I like this. What are your thoughts on that, man?
I like that because I'm getting sick and tired of these shitty ass teams. I don't want to watch Hardknocks if there's a shitty team on. Why don't we get like the Buccaneers in season or the Colts now that they're good? Get like a Matt Ryan or Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers talking and seeing how that's interesting. That's cool to watch. Your views are going to go up. Nobody wants to watch a shitty team after year on Hardknocks. It's stupid.
And well, not only that too, I feel like it's always like in my opinion, big market teams too. Like the Cowboys are a big market team. Like it's just the teams that have like Chicago Bears. I think I've been on there a few times. They need to do the small market teams that aren't played nationally all the time, just to get those players out there. 'Cause I think what was it, the Bills last year? They had so many great players on the team, but not a single one of them made the Pro Bowl. It's because the Pro Bowl is a popularity contest for the first part of it, and how can you get someone's name out there if they're never on TV? You know, it sucks because we live out here in Indiana, but we're so close to Chicago. We don't get Indiana coverage or the Indianapolis Colts coverage. We only get the Chicago Bears that are out here. And that gets annoying sometimes because we don't get to see all those players. We have to go on like certain websites or we have to pay for like certain like NFL Sunday ticket to watch those types of things.
Which I don't get it. Northwest Indiana, I know it's right by Chicago, but it's still Indiana. You should have the Colts on TV no matter what.
Fucking men.
We're not Chicago. Chicago's in a different state. You know what I mean? But, yeah.
I wonder if in Southern Illinois they get the Bears games out there, or if they're closer to Tennessee. You know, does it play Tennessee games only or something like that? Like, I don't know. I feel like if you're in a state that has that team, the whole state should show that team on TV. Just my opinion. But yeah, I feel like they need to go with more small market teams. I don't think the Arizona Cardinals are a big market team. I think they're a small market team, so I like it. It's going to give us an idea of how Kings Cliffberry is as a person, how Kyler Murray is, how DeAndre Hopkins works. I know a lot of people are interested to see how he works, on a week-to-week basis. He's an exceptional player. Obviously, you won't see him for the first 6 weeks of the season. But there's other players on that team. I think AJ Green's still on there. It's going to be intriguing to watch. I'm actually going to watch the Cardinals this year and whatnot.
You probably don't remember this, but speaking about TV, if a team does really, really good, like the 2007 Patriots, that's not locally televised Patriots games around here unless you have like Red Zone or whatever. Well, I remember when I was in high school, I didn't have the Red Zone package or anything, but when I started winning game after game after game, they started being televised. I wonder if that's like if a team's that good, they start getting televised on local channels everywhere. Because
True.
That was one of the things like game day, they're on channel 32. Next week, 32, they're playing Dolphins. I'm like, well, that's good for the TV ratings when you have a team that good, I guess. So this depends on the circumstances of the team and how they're performing. But they locally though should have your Colts games on.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, when Peyton Manning was the quarterback for the Colts, we were on TV pretty much all the time because he was our quarterback. He's exceptional. We were always dominating and doing very well. And like the Detroit Lions, for example, I mean, they've been terrible for years, and they don't even have a single, primetime game this year. Besides Christmas, I think it's Christmas.
They're not even on TV this year.
Yeah, it's like it's gonna suck. That means only people that watch the Lions out in Detroit are gonna be able to see them. It's gonna be hard for other people all across the United States to be able to see that team. Sucks for them, I don't know. I just feel like the entire state should be able to see their team. So Detroit is in Michigan. The entire state of Michigan should be able to see the Detroit Lions. The entire state of Illinois should be able to see the Chicago Bears. The entire state of Indiana should be able to see the Indianapolis Colts. Just my opinion, but you have all these big money TV contracts. You think that'd be a thing, and not only that, you'd probably grow more fans if you had them on. I mean, can you imagine if the Colts didn't have Peyton Manning for the years that they were with the the early years of 2000s and stuff like that. That's when I became a fan. If they never had the Colts on TV because they were a small market team, because they were trash all the time, I probably wouldn't have been a fan. I think I became a fan like early 2000s because I started seeing the way that Peyton Manning was playing and the Bears were garbage at the time.
Gotta be coming from 49 touchdowns. Like I'm a Peyton Manning fan now. I'm up the Colts bandwagon.
See?
I'm a fair weather Colts fan.
See, there you go.
Now you and Nick can be like, go up to me and like, you just started watching the Patriots like last year, Danny.
You did for the long. I think what was it? I think it was the year that he was shattering records with Randy Moss. That's when you started watching and started becoming a fan of them. No, it was their undefeated season.
No, 2006. 2006 playoffs with Corey Dillon. You guys end up beating the Patriots 38-34. Peyton Manning came back and beat us, and you guys went into the Super Bowl.
No, when they had their undefeated season, that's when you started becoming a fan.
No, I started watching before that.
Whatever you say, Danny. I can go back and bring out the receipts.
You don't have them that far back.
Oh, you bet I do. I still got my access to my MySpace, son.
Oh, we have to go back to old MySpace days.
Well, speaking of the Patriots, there's some rumors that the players are concerned with the direction of the coaching staff. Bill Belichick, you told me about this earlier. I went and saw the clip. It's kind of funny. Someone asked me, he's like, hey, man, so how do you think the play calling is going to go? And he's like, play calling? He's like, yeah. He's like, what play calling? What plays are being called? Then he was like, started going at the dude's life, and he's like, it's minicamp plays, like it's minicamp, bro. Like, come on, man, chill the fuck out. The season hasn't even started yet. Why are you worried about who's calling plays at this moment in time? Now,
I'm sorry, go on.
No, you can go ahead.
It's funny that everybody's so worried about Bill Belichick and his team, but you guys fail to forget he's won 8 Super Bowls. 2 as a defensive coordinator, 6 as a head coach. And so he knows what he's doing. Does he have to have this ready right now?
I feel like it's always like when you don't know something, you want to know more. It's like whenever someone gives you a little like, hey, don't go in my room, then you want to go in the room now because you want to know why. Why can't I go in your room? Like you want to know why. And if they don't tell you why, you're going to go garner and figure out why. It's like you go to a hotel, don't go to the roof. Okay, why can't I go to the roof? Can't tell you. Well, I'm going to the fucking roof because I want to figure out what's in the roof. What's on the roof, bro? Same thing with the Bill Belichick. He's putting out there saying, we're not going to name an offensive coordinator yet. We don't know who's calling plays. And then now they're like, okay, we want to know who's calling plays, so they're going to pester him until they get an answer.
Kind of like 2011, lockout. Everyone's worried about what teams are going to do. And Bill Belichick goes up to his offense like, listen, guys, we didn't have a lot of offseason to prepare everything, but this is what we're going to do. Everybody's out of shape because of the lockout. We're going to do a no-huddle offense this year. We're going to make it till they can't breathe. And then boom, boom, boom. Had like the second or first best offense in the league. A lot of teams couldn't handle that defensively because there was always no huddle. Fast paced.
That was something that Peyton Manning did a lot of too. But I think he just did that forever, like this entire year. It seemed like, I don't know about his rookie year, but he seemed to thrive in the no huddle offense, and that's when we seem to be our best. But are you concerned with the Bill Belichick?
No, get a sleeper quarterback like Matt Jones. He's gonna be all right. He's gonna be better in year 2. It's Bill Belichick. I'm not worried about Bill Belichick. Excuse me. Sorry. Bill Belichick does. And he's going to have it all together when it's all said and done. I mean, greatest coach of all time. I'm not worried.
You guys
who am I to say that why don't you have an offensive coordinator picked out?
Are you guys going to the Super Bowl this year?
I don't know. I mean, she got a lot of talent, Buffalo Bills. My pick in that division is the Buffalo Bills to win it all. So, won a Super Bowl. So, if our best shots in is a wild card, but I'll be okay with it. I'll be content with that. Interesting.
Mac Jones' shoulders seem to be thicker, according to somebody. I think it was I don't know. I have to go back and look, but they said his shoulders are thicker, so maybe he's gotten bigger. He's got a stronger arm now. He's gonna be thrown even better than he did last year. Maybe more accurately. Did his brain get smarter all of a sudden? Is he gonna be the one calling plays now? Is that why? Like he's just gonna be on the field? Is it gonna be a no huddle offense? Is that what you're insinuating, Danny? You think that they're gonna go back to the old Patriot ways of 2007 and start running no huddle offense, and Mac Jones is just gonna call the plays at the offensive line of scrimmage?
Not this year. We're not there yet. I
think he's not Brady.
No, we're not there yet. I mean, can't really compare him to Brady. That's not fair. I think it's gonna be a more short game, run game kind of offense. Gonna rely on the running game more than anything. It's gonna open up the short passing game, quick throws, get the ball out fast.
Lots of interceptions.
Hopefully, but I think it's gonna be a kind of a short offense, not a lot of deep passes. I think it's gonna be more a run-oriented offense.
I can agree with that in a little bit. I think how it's gonna be more run-oriented, but we shall see, because Bill Belichick never sticks with just one running back. He's always putting 3 or 4 of them out there, and he'll bench like his best one for like a whole game and put 2 other guys in or something like that. That dude's weird.
Pisses off people on fantasy football.
You're like, God damn it, dude. Why is Damian Harris not getting any touches right now? He's only had 1 touch all half.
I started him in my lineup. This is what I need to make the playoffs.
That's why I don't touch any of those running backs, man. I never draft them. Not under Bill Belichick. Nope.
I did when James White was playing with Tom Brady.
Yeah, PPR leagues.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Speaking of the past and great teams, Alec Pierce and Michael Pittman Jr., do you think they're going to be the next wide receiver duo? I was looking up some stats earlier. Right here. The Colts themselves, the last time they actually had 2 players that were, 1,000-yard receivers was Dallas Clark and Reggie Wayne in 2009. If you're looking for the last wide receivers to have 1,000 yards, you're going to have to go back to 2006 when they had Marvin Harrison and Reggie Wayne. My question for you is, do you think it's possible that the Colts could have not just 2 stud wide receivers, maybe even 3? A lot of people forget about Paris Campbell. I forgot to talk about him last week when we were talking about Nyheim Hines being the a wide receiver on the team. And then also just let you know that kind of solidifies that, because we just signed another running back to our team. We signed Tyson Williams. He's a former Ravens running back. So now we have 4 running backs on our team. Tyson Williams, obviously Jonathan Taylor. We got we got last week Philip Lindsay, and we have Nyheim Hines. But I don't feel like Nyheim Hines is going to be doing much running. I feel like we'll obviously have Michael Pittman as our number 1. Maybe our number 2 is Alec Pierce, and he also gets 1,000 yards. That 3, we got Paris Campbell in the slot. Maybe he gets 1,000 yards. And then 4, we'll have Nyheim Hines. And then we have a bunch of other, good special team players that, can make some good splash plays here and there, and Ashton Doolin and Desmond Patton.
Possible with Pittman, yes. T.Y. Hilton might be coming back to the Colts from what I was reading.
Maybe.
But that's a long shot. I'm not going to say the rookie wide receiver is going to get 1,000 yards. He's unproven. He hasn't played yet. So I'm not going to even put him in that conversation. I mean, that's unfair to all the players on your team, and it's a rookie. You don't know how it's going to translate. He's going to translate in the NFL. So I think it's possible. It seems like you're getting a lot of guys that are fast in space that can catch out of the backfield. And I feel like you might be going to more pass-oriented teams. So I don't know. It's possible with Matt Ryan at the helm, but it's too soon. A lot of moving pieces. I'd rather say you get 1,000-yard receiver.
We also signed Nick Foles, too.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, we have him as a backup now. See, I have a bold prediction this year. I don't think there's going to be 3 1,000-yard receivers. I do think Michael Pittman Jr. will have 1,000 yards. I think Alec Pierce is going to be definitely incorporated into the offense a lot, so I think he has a possibility of getting 1,000 yards. But I think Paris Campbell has something to prove. I think he's got a big chip on his shoulder. I think that him and Pittman will have 1,000 yards this year, and Alec Pierce might have 800 or 900 yards, in my opinion. The only reason I say that is because something that he needs to excel better at is route running. I know Paris Campbell has great hands and he's really good at route running. So I think those two players, Pittman and Campbell, will have 1,000 yards this year. So that's my bold prediction, 2 1,000-yard receivers. Everyone's talking about Alec Pierce. I know he's a good player. But don't forget about Campbell, and they're going to keep giving me the injury label tag and all that stuff. Someone's not injured every single year. I know he's only played 15 games out of 45 games that he could possibly play. It's just bad luck. I feel like he's mentally in the right place, and I feel like he's got a big chip to prove. I don't feel like we have any good stud tight ends that are going to take much production away from these wide receivers. I feel like we're going to have a lot of 3-4 wide receiver sets this year. I feel like Jelani Woods, he's an exceptional athlete. He's going to definitely make some splash plays here and there, but I don't think he's going to be getting hella balls like everyone thinks he might be. I think he's a big body that's going to help block a whole lot for Jonathan Taylor, just like Mo Alley Cox does. And I think his name is Grayson. He's a good blocker too as well. So you have all these guys that are going to be blocking for JT, and you have Matt Ryan coming back, who's just predicated on throwing 4,000 yards a year. I think last year was probably the first year he hasn't done it in a while. I think he's back. I think he throws about 4,500 yards, maybe about 30 touchdowns, 35 touchdowns. He's got big bodies now everywhere. He's got literally, in my opinion, I wasn't even thinking about this the other day. I'm so curious on what they're actually going to do. I want to see how they play. Depending on how the first few weeks of the season goes, we have a shot to be just as competitive, Everyone's talking about how the AFC has gotten so much better.
I mean, I don't agree with that all the way, because he's coming off injury. Isn't he Matt Ryan? Didn't he get injured a couple of times during the Falcons last year?
He's played all his games, every single one of them.
I don't know.
Even if he does, you got Nick Foles as a backup.
He did have a bad team last year.
Terrible team.
Yeah, I could see him rebounding. We did have him in fantasy football last year. He didn't do bad every game either.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna look up. Honestly, if we're really going about Matt Ryan and the yards that he threw last year, he didn't have Calvin Ridley for pretty much the whole year. Julio Jones is no longer on that team. I don't know who else was on that team to catch the ball, but Matt Ryan. Let's see what he got last year, stat wise. He got 3,968 yards last year and 20 touchdowns, 88 or 12 interceptions. He had a 90.4 rating. So I'm thinking if he threw almost 4,000 yards with no name receivers, imagine what he can do with this whole group. I'm just telling you, man.
That comes with the talent too. The guy can't get open.
Well, one guy just is not good at route running, and that would be Alex Pierce, but doesn't say he can't get better. He's got Reggie Wayne teaching him. He was one of the best route runners in the game. Not only that, he can get upfield. He can catch balls downfield. And then not only that, it's like, who are they going to cover? You have so many great players on the team. I'm actually excited this year to actually watch the wide receiver group, because I know everyone's got a big question mark on that thing. And I know it's a big question mark, but that's probably the thing I'm the most excited for. Last year, I was so excited to see what Jonathan Taylor could do, because he was going to be the starter, and now I know what he can do. So now I want to see what the wide receivers can do, because I don't know what they can do except for Pittman.
Should be a lot better with not Carson Wentz. Gordon, a lot better without Carson Wentz, but should be a lot better with that.
Yeah, because he's not going to make indecisive decisions. Matt Ryan's predicated on that slant ball, getting the ball out quick, making smart throws, and just throwing it away when it needs to be thrown away, instead of trying to extend the play and sprain both ankles on the same damn play. I just saw a tweet earlier today that Carson Wentz already threw an interception in practice. It's like, man, I'm so glad we don't have that guy on our team, because last year it was just a nightmare to watch. You didn't know what to expect on any play, whether it was going to be an extraordinary play or whether it was going the other way. He killed us on so many drives. Like, I know Matt Ryan, everyone keeps saying that he's not going to be solid for us. Someone even told me the other day that he was worse than Phillip Rivers. like, are you kidding me? He's like, yeah, Philip Rivers has done more with less than what Matt Ryan has done. I was like,
All right.
I can't take things seriously sometimes when people say dumb things like that. So I was like, well,
whole career. He had LaDainian Tomlinson. He had Vincent Jackson.
for the first 5 years. But he had Vincent Jackson. He's had Keenan Allen. He's had Antonio Gates. I mean, I can go on. Now he's had Hunter Henry. I mean, come on, man. You don't have him anymore, obviously, but I just like Philip Rivers has had a lot. I just feel like he can never get over that hump. He was never a clutch quarterback per se. Matt Ryan, also not sort of a clutch quarterback, but he's a game manager. He just gets the game done. And that's the thing I'm looking forward to the most. The fact that if there's nothing on a play, instead of him trying to extend it and make something of something, or he's about to get sacked, he can literally just throw the ball away and it's 2nd and 10 instead of 2nd and 16 because he just got sacked, or interception. It's going the other way. You know, like we don't have to worry about that stuff too much. He's going to have a great offensive line. He's got a running back behind him that knows how to tote the rock. So if he sees something at the line of scrimmage, I mean, he's got that experience to know, you know what? I'm running the ball on this one. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like overall, Colts are in a good place to make some plays.
And let me go back to Rivers for a second. They had a lot of depth too back in those days. He had 17 of his children to throw the ball to.
I think he has 9.
9
or 10.
I swear it's like 25 of those little guys.
I'm sure he's going to pop out some more here soon. You know, he's retired now. He's over there coaching his kids' football team, whatever, you know, just going to crank out 2 more. Like, honey, dude, I need to get some receivers on the other side. Like,
He's always in a shitty mood. All his contracts are going to the kids.
For real, though.
Yeah.
But I appreciate you coming on the show today, man. That's all I got for today. You got anything else you want to add, homie?
Nope. No, sir.
All righty, man. Appreciate you coming on, Brother Dan.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys, that's going to conclude the show today. If you guys have any questions about anything that we talked about today, you know, the James Bradbury signing, or, you know, Dolphins signing Melvin Ingram, Kyle Fuller to the Ravens, Kalani to the Browns, fully guaranteed contracts becoming the norm, the Pro Bowl. If you guys have any different ways on how the Pro Bowl can be changed, I'm all ears for. I will literally talk about it on the next show if I see a really interesting idea. And if you guys think that Bill Belichick is losing his mind, or you think it's just offensive genius and, you know, he's just blowing smoke screens and no one's even seen anything yet. And also, if you guys think that the Colts are going to have the next wide receiver duel on their team since 2006, let me know. All right, guys. Appreciate you guys listening. You guys have a wonderful day. And also, like I said, don't forget to subscribe below. We only need 894 subscribers and we'll get to $1,000. Let's go. Later, guys.